Now is that time of year when everything in the garden is growing that much more rapidly. But alongside your flowers, your trees, your plants, your hedges, the weeds are also growing. And now is the ideal time to start dealing with them. A weed is just a plant growing in the wrong place, but it usually grows very quickly and spreads very aggressively. Now its roots are very deep usually and quite strong, so it's important to get them up now before they get too strong a hold for summer. Today I'm going to be hand pulling this bed of weeds, so let's get started. I'm just using a hand trowel to dig out the weeds and a bucket to throw them into. Now the gardening gloves help protect my hands because some of the weeds are a little bit prickly. Perennial weeds like dandelions, brambles, stingy nettles and grass must be dug out completely. If there are any roots left behind, the plant will start to grow again. So dig down with your hand trowel and sort of wiggle the trowel to dislodge the root from the soil, and then gently and slowly ease the trowel back on itself and sort of grip the weed as you're doing that. If the weed and the root don't come out whole, dig back down and get the rest of it out. And once it's out, throw it in the garden waste. Don't put it on a compost heap because it will start growing again and you'll have an even bigger problem on your hands. Now there are alternatives to hand digging each weed, and one option is weed killer, but it's generally chemically based and I'd like to try and avoid it as much as possible. It can do a lot of harm to local wildlife and sometimes cause poisoning in animals. For me, I just prefer hand weeding. It's a lot more natural and surprisingly satisfying when you've cleared a whole bed of weeds. Unlike a lot of other weeds, ivy is often used in plant displays and can look really nice in controlled settings. If it's left to its own devices though, it becomes wild and unruly, it spreads across the ground and it roots itself every couple of inches. It grows really quickly and can swamp out other plants, but its roots aren't too deep and they're easy to pull. Once you've reclaimed your garden, you can turn over the soil with a garden fork just to loosen it and then just start adding new plants. Just make sure you keep on top of the weeds and get them whilst they're small and you shouldn't have a problem.